Coach, your first question will be from Travis Hines of the Ames Tribune. Travis, go ahead.
Hey, Matt, how are you?
Doing great.
When we've been talking to the position coaches, when we talked to Tom and John yesterday, it's been clear that you guys' focus in the spring has been on fundamental and technique. Just curious if you could tell us why you guys came to that conclusion that that's what you wanted spring to be about.
Yeah, I think that's really what spring practice is about. I think that's something that we have always really concentrated on, is really, the fundamental and technical part of the game. Obviously, I think from, when we were here early, you're trying to figure out who your players are and maybe what scheme you want to run. But I think the more we've grown, we've really settled into who we are and schematically what we want to do. And so now it's about how we do what we want to do really on both sides of the ball and really even in our special teams game. So, I think just continuing to pound away at those details. And, we've got a wide range of players in our program when you talk experience. And so how do you get the great players to be the best they can be? Obviously, that's fundamental and technical work. And how do you get the good player or the young players to become good players that you can trust to play? Well, I think it always starts with fundamental and technique. So, I think that's really what we've always tried to do in the spring. I just think we probably put more of an emphasis in terms of, shying away from diving too far into scheme and really kind of limiting ourselves in that and really honing in on the fundamentals and technique.
I think that's interesting because a lot of times when you talk to players and coaches on experienced veteran teams, a lot of times they'll talk about how far ahead they are, how deep into the playbook they are maybe than they have been in previous years. Was that something that you guys consciously resisted trying to do, to focus on, those details like you said?
Yeah, and I think we're, our playbook, even though maybe sometimes it looks, expanded, is very thin anyways. So, I think more of mastery of skill was, and really what we've been after, honestly, over the last 2 years. I think that's kind of been our focal point since, 2019 is, man, how do you continue to master your craft? And, there's, when you're dealing with 18 to 22-year-olds, that's easier said than done. So, I give a lot of credit to our kids, and really I give a lot of credit to our staff because I thought our staff was incredible and really has grown over the last 2 years. And, I think with that growth, our players certainly have benefited, and they've done a great job of letting our coaches benefit them. So it's been an enjoyable process.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Our next question will be from Randy Peterson of the Des Moines Register. Go ahead, Randy.
Good afternoon, Matt.
Hi, Randy.
For Iowa State's offense, I'm just going to start with the offense now, to move forward this season, what areas do you think your offense needs to improve?
Yeah,
what steps does it need to take?
I just think consistency. I think, we've played pretty good offensive football, over the last couple of years, and you just look back and when haven't you played well? It's when we've lacked consistency, and that consistency is lacked sometimes. And really what I just got done talking about with Travis is it's the fundamental and technical pieces of things. So I think that there's been a lot of growth in our offense really over our time here, but I just think the consistency of being able to be the type of offense that we want to be, and certainly to continuing to take care of the football are our focuses in terms of offensive football moving forward.
Like Travis said, we've talked to the coordinators of the position groups the last couple of weeks, but we haven't got a reading on any of the kickers. What's going on in that department?
Yeah, I think we're really fortunate just because you got a lot of guys back in some regard, and obviously we inherited, a graduate transfer in Andrew Mevis who, has had a really positive spring and's got a powerful leg, and, I think will certainly have the opportunity to help us in terms of, the kickoff world, and also, continue to, compete with Connor Sally, and I think both of those guys are guys that have really done a lot already in their collegiate career and certainly had successes. So, we're excited about those groups. In the punting situation, Corey Dunn is back. which has been really good. We felt really good about Corey as the season, continued a year ago. Again, a guy that has veteran reps, certainly positive. And then, you have both, Hathcock and Guess back in terms of our long snapping. I think we're really confident in both of those guys. Both those guys, with Connor doing a great job in his short snapping and Colby doing a great job for us in his long snapping. I think both guys give us seasoned vets that really, performed their job with high efficiency a year ago. So, I think we're confident about those groups, and it's going to be exciting. It's exciting to have Andrew aboard because I think he gives us maybe some threats and consistency in areas that maybe we haven't had over the last year and a half to 2 years.
Matt, I've got one more. With the draft a couple hours away and Iowa State a year away from maybe having its best draft ever, certainly one of the best drafts ever, it got me to thinking, what do you look for when you go out and recruit players like a Brees, like a Charlie Kohler, like a Brock, like Mike Rose, whomever? What do you look for?
Yeah, I don't think, our model of searching for players has really ever changed. I think obviously their fundamental skill set has to match what we deem, at each position group. And I think we've worked really hard here over our time at Toledo and obviously here at Iowa State is, what does it take for each individual position group to be successful, and what are the fundamental skills that need to show up on a videotape. But then I think on top of that, I think where we have been able to really do a great job collectively of a staff is, man, the three core values for us haven't changed. Is, what is your character? I think for the most part, you'd say, especially what are the redeeming qualities of all those guys you just mentioned, is they're elite human beings. They've carried themselves on the field and off the field, very similar. They play really hard when things get really tough. They certainly rise to the occasion, and they are the same person off the field as they are on the field, and how they prepare to be great has been nothing short of successful. I think number two, they love football. I think that's something we always look for in a young man is we know our program's hard. We know it's not easy to play at Iowa State, to be really honest with you. We play a brand of football that's team above self, and, you have to love football to play in our type of system. You got to love football to know that you're going to have to earn the right to play here. And there's going to be really good days and there's going to be really hard days. And, I think that part for us has been really good, of guys that love the sport of football. And you're never going to be 100% right on that. But I think we've worked really, really hard to find guys that are passionate and love football. And then, I think the last piece of it is guys that understand the value of an education, that they're not going to put all their eggs just in the NFL basket. They're going to really become the best version of themselves they can be. And, you're talking a guy like Charlie Kohler, who's a, 3.99 GPA in here at Iowa State, that's going to leave with his graduate degree. Brock Purdy, over a 3.5 GPA. Mike Rose over a 3.5 GPA. I mean, you can go on and on and on. Brees Hall, over a 3.5 GPA. So you got these guys that they're not just chasing greatness on the field, but they're trying to really become the best humans they can be as well. So, and those are just some names, right? I think we can go down the list of our roster of the guys that are really succeeding at a high rate for us. Those qualities are all the same, and that hasn't changed since, to be honest with you, since 10 years ago when I took the head coaching job at the University of Toledo. Those foundational principles are really what we've searched for.
That's cool. Thanks, Matt. I appreciate it.
Yep, thank you.
Our next question will be from John Schaefer of WOI. John, go ahead.
Matt, you're wrapping up your sixth spring session now. How have you grown as a coach, and what aspects have you grown as a coach from your perspective since year one to now?
Yeah, John, geez, I think so much. I mean, I think really so much growth for me in terms of, just how do you go about your day-to-day process in terms of leading the team, and what's important to, how do you make the most important things. And, I think I've grown a lot as even our team has grown in terms of, understanding why we do what we do and how do we get to the end result to be the best version of ourselves we can be. And, I just think it's a growing process. I think you would, this in our sport and our profession, it's one of those professions where it humbles you really fast if you ever think you have all the answers. And I know I certainly don't. I think my growth is constant, and I've consistently tried to do a great job of getting better because there's a lot of areas that I need to continue to grow in. But I just think it's been a really great growth process for me. I think there's been a lot of challenges for us to be able to tackle and overcome, and there'll continue to be great challenges in front of us. So, but I think every day is an opportunity for us to grow, and certainly for myself to grow.
And then really quick, what kind of impact can Jaquan Amos make at DB, and what have you seen out of him this spring?
Yeah, and so Jaquan's not with us yet. He's a graduate transfer, so he'll be here at semester's end for him. So we'll gain him, John, in May. But from that standpoint, we're obviously really excited about Jaquan coming on board and being a part of the program. But I think it'll be he'll certainly add another great veteran piece to our defense for sure.
All right, sorry about that.
That's all right.
Our next question will be from Matt Bellington of the Iowa State Daily. Matt, go ahead.
Hey, Coach. Just curious, in talking with Coach Gordon and Coach Shieldhouse over the past couple of weeks, it came up that the passing game, downfield passing game specifically from a season ago, there could have been some improvements there, maybe a little bit more aggressiveness on that end. I'm just curious, is that something that you noticed too? And if so, I guess how can that change for this upcoming season?
Yeah, gosh, I don't know if I noticed that or not. I think obviously we want to highlight what our players do best. We want to put our kids in the best position to be successful. I think you saw us make some big plays down the field. Obviously Brock's a guy that throws a really accurate football down the field, and that's hugely positive. But I think equally you got to have guys that have great consistency of making those plays. And I think as it was a very young receiver group a year ago, I thought they matured and were able to make some of those plays in some critical moments for us as the season grew on. So, I think we're always looking to find how do we put our players in the best position to be successful, and really kind of tailor make whatever play call we have on really any phase of the game around what our players can do and put them in the best position to be successful. So, I think that's one of the strengths of our staff on really all phases is do what our players do best.
I was going to say, is that something that maybe you don't even, like you just mentioned, is that something you don't even think is maybe even necessary for an offense like this where, you have such dominant receiving tight ends, and you got Brees in the backfield where, it's probably not even necessary to take those downfield shots, as often as maybe some would like. I mean, is that kind of your philosophy on that, I guess?
Well, I think my philosophy is to win, and so whatever it takes to win, we're really going to try to do. And I say that, obviously is, man, that's really what we spend so much of our time, doing is what gives our kids the best opportunity week in and week out to win. And, you're right. We certainly are fortunate to have some tight ends that can really do some great things for us and have done great things for us. And, but we've also got great receivers, and some of those guys have made critical plays in critical games. So, I think just continuing to grow in those areas is really what we want to do. So when the matchup and opportunities present itself for us, we want to be able to take advantage of them.
Thanks.
Our next question will be from Ben Visser of the Cedar Rapids Gazette. Go ahead, Ben.
Hey, Coach. Kene Nwangu obviously has moved on to pursue his NFL aspirations. How do you fill? I don't even know if you can fill his shoes, but how do you fill his shoes at kick returner? Who have you put back there, and how have they performed so far?
Yeah, that'll be a good challenge for us. You're right. I don't know if you totally replace a guy like Kene, especially what he was as a senior in our football program. I mean, the plays he made, especially in the kick return game, were game changing. And I think there are some guys that we've really looked at and taken a look at back there. Even some of the new guys in our program that have come in, with some veteran experience, guys like Deion Silas and obviously Jalen Knoll, guys that have done some of those things in high school, but also coupling it with guys that have explosive ability. Xavier Hutchinson, Joe Skates, some of those guys that have done great things for us. So I think it'll be a really good competition all the way till fall camp. You know, those are going to be big question marks that we're going to have to answer for sure, because that is something that such a big area of us, you know, our special teams game planning, that we want to have somebody there that can really give us an opportunity to have success in the kick return game.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Yep, thank you.
Our next question will be from Travis Hines of the Ames Tribune. Travis, go ahead.
When we talked to John yesterday, he mentioned that even with having so many of the same players back from last year, you guys can't be the same team, or you'll just be treading water or getting worse. And I guess obviously it's one of those good problems to have, but what is the challenge of, you know, keeping an experienced, accomplished team sharp and, you know, not getting complacent, you know, either now or in the fall or throughout the summer?
Well, I think that comes down to, you know, the reality of you know, we want to reach our full potential. You know, nothing has really ever changed in this program of, man, what's our goals, what's our aspirations, and what do we want to become? And, you know, it is great to have some veteranness, because I think I look at it not so much as, man, how do we keep those guys focused and ready to be their best? Because I think now you got guys that are trusted. You got guys that are decided to come back here because, you know, they want to be their best, or they wouldn't be back here. And I think one of the things that's exciting about a veteran football team on the opposite end of it is, like, man, can those guys raise the level of the young players around them to be at their level? And so, you know, again, having senior leadership, having a group of seniors that are bought into something bigger than just themselves, I think those are things that are really unique challenges. And, you know, I do agree with Coach that, you know, you can't stay the same. You got to continue to strain to get better. And, you know, there's videotape evidence of that from last football season. I think there's a lot of areas for us that we need to improve on and continue to improve on. And, you know, again, back to your first question today, you know, where can that starting point come? Well, man, a lot of it was in the fundamental and detail of our ability to technically respond in the heat of the moment, and how do we do a better job of that. And I think even those veteran players can be much better in a lot of areas. So that's been really fun to watch us attack that, and I think our kids really understand that and feel that from some of the situations where we failed to do it a year ago.
You mentioned the impact on the younger guys. What do you think the benefit is for the younger guys, you know, whether it's the first year or second year in the program, to see so many guys come back, you know, that could have gone on to professional careers, to come back to try to win a Big 12 title, to try to get to a college football playoff? What are they experiencing as you guys, you know, head into this season?
Yeah, I just think the biggest thing for us is, you know, Iowa State is always going to be a football program that the older it is, the more experienced it is, as long as it's the right older players and the right experience, then the opportunity to be a better football team, because, you know, you're going to have to earn the right to be successful, and you have to understand what it takes to be successful here. And so I think that what it takes is, you know, everybody pulling in the same direction, and everybody working really hard to become the best version of themselves they can be. And, you know, we never ask any more, and we don't set our goals any higher than, man, reach your full potential and become the best version of yourself you can be. And, man, if you do that, everything else will always take care of itself. And to be able to have guys in our program that are coming back that in a lot of ways have seemed to really accelerate their growth process around that model, I just think it gives young guys a great opportunity to see what it takes to become the best version of yourself you can be, or what it takes to work to become the best version of yourself you can be. And, you know, we're really fortunate right now, because there are a lot of guys in our program that have that kind of work ethic and those kind of foundational principles that they've been able to live their life to be able to work to that kind of mission. So, you know, I think when young players can see that modeled, that's really big, because talking about it, or the coach talking about it, only goes so far. But when the players are living it and modeling it, then I think there's an opportunity for that to be passed down and for growth to occur with your young players.
Our next question will be from Bill Fields of Cycling Report. Go ahead, Bill.
Hey, Matt. Yesterday, Coach Haycock mentioned Malik Verdon and Howard Brown as a couple of the young guys, early entries that have looked good this spring. Can you get into their play this spring a little bit? What has made them so so good so early, and then as well maybe just some observations on the offensive side of the ball, some other guys that haven't gotten a lot of playing time yet that have looked good.
Yeah, I think for me, when you talk about the incoming freshmen, really that entire class, and then throw Andrew Mevis as a newcomer as well, I mean, has been nothing short of exceptional. I give a lot of credit to our senior leadership and to some of our veteran players, because that group was training with that group since January. And so I think they really helped accelerate their confidence and their work ethic over, the months of February, March, and April, as we kind of prepared to get ourselves into practice. And, again, I would say Tyler Moore had a really, really successful spring. It was really fun to watch him grow and get better. I talked about Jalen Noel already. I think he's been extremely impressive at the wide receiver position for us. I thought Deion Silas was exceptional, this spring. I talked about Andrew Mevis and certainly what he's done. Howard Brown, for, a big freshman defensive lineman who just got done playing quarterback for the last 3 years, to be able to get in on the defensive line, to be able to, get in the defensive line stance and really grow at the rate he's grown. Has certainly been, impressive. And obviously Malik has done a really great job as well. And so, I think those guys have been really fun to watch. Tristan Mashad, another big, long receiver that's been really impressive as well for us. So, I think that part's exciting because it's great to see those guys. And then, I think the other guy that I would hate not to mention is Dodge Sauser, who's really had a great spring as well. So, I think all those guys have done really good things, and all those guys have proven that they're going to be they've got really exciting futures for us. And then I think collectively, guys that haven't played, there are a lot of names that of guys that I think really have done a great job. I think Jared Hufford continues to be pushed. Is he one of the best 5 linemen that we have in our football program? Tyler Miller's a really talented guy that's had an exceptional spring. From my end of thing, Easy Anderson at the wide receiver position has had an really special spring, in my opinion. For us, I think Hunter Deckers continues to grow. I think Jyrell Brock had a really good spring. Cordarius Bailey, Corey Suttle, guys that I thought really stood out. I think Cordarius Bailey is one of the great success stories of our football program in general. A guy that had back-to-back, Achilles injuries and, has really been without football for almost 2 years, and he's fought back, helped us a little bit on special teams at the end of the season, and to go through a winter and a spring and being back at full strength, and a guy that we all have great belief in, is exciting. J.R. Singleton continues to do great things. T.J. Tampa had a really good spring. Craig McDonald, I thought really did a great job. Kamani King did a great job. So there's a lot of names, guys that I think are really, they have made great headway, and guys that I think we're really, really excited about what they've done. And those are just some names off the top of my head that I think are worthy of talking about.
Awesome. And how about the overall health, too? It sounds like Trevor Downing gone through a full spring healthy. How's everybody else gotten through this last month or so?
Yeah, I think we'll when we come back from, our time away, our as of today, looks like we'll have everybody at full strength for summer workouts, which is, again, great credit to, our athletic training staff, our strength and conditioning staff, and our coaches. But our kids have done a great job from that regard.
Thank you.
Our next question will be from Sam Stuvey of the Iowa State Daily. Go ahead, Sam.
Hello, Coach. So something that a lot of the players have talked about during this spring period is getting bigger, faster, stronger. How well do you think this team has accomplished that, and what has kind of led to that?
Well, that's really been our focus. I think just the focus on it has probably been the reason, we've really put as much time into that growth process. Again, it's like, man, what's most important and what are you willing to fight for in your program? And, I think, again, being a developmental program, getting our kids the biggest, the fastest, the strongest that they can, providing a model of, both practice to allow that to continue to occur. And obviously, our strength staff continues to do a great job, but our kids continue to do a great job as well. I think them really taking ownership in our nutrition program, I think that's been exceptional this off season. you know, and how do you recover, not just how you train. So I think the leadership of our team deserves a lot of credit too. You know, when your great players are bought into, man, how do you recover? How do you take care of your body? And then how do you come in and be your best in the weight room or the best on the football field day in and day out? That there's a lot of buy-in value when your best players are willing to commit to that.
And then some of the assistant coaches or position coaches have talked about that as well, the strength and the nutrition aspect of things. How have you seen those two areas kind of improve upon from last season and seasons past?
Yeah, you know, last season I just think, you know, got cut short, obviously, with, you know, we really didn't have 3 months where that was even a factor in our program. And so, you know, I think that was totally negated, you know, more than anything. And then I just think the commitment that we've been able to make as a, you know, as an athletic department and certainly as a football program to getting the right people in the right place, and then obviously, you know, getting, you know, making those things a priority in our program. It's been a global, I think, global commitment to making sure we've got the best resources to give our players the best opportunity to be as successful as they can be.
Thank you.
Our next question will be from Randy Peterson of the Des Moines Register. Randy, go ahead.
Matt, excuse me, Matt, when you and your staff took this job 5-6 years ago, whenever it was, did you ever envision being a top 7 team in the country, which is likely where you're going to start in that area somewhere, and, you know, potentially a college football playoff team? Did you ever envision that?
No, never been a priority, to be honest with you, and really never been a thought. I think only thing we've ever asked of our kids and really ourselves is, man, how do we become the best version of us we can be? And, you know, I think, as you know, those are great, and I think we have really high expectations for ourselves. But, you know, we also know that, you know, every season and every year is defined by who you are at the end and not who you are at the beginning. And I think it's fun where you have a veteran group that understands that, and you have a coaching staff that understands that, and, man, doesn't really get wrapped up in the noise, doesn't get wrapped up in the good or the bad, and all they do is just keep staying the course. And I think that's what I envision. As a coach, to be honest with you, is can you ever create a program where it's about what's right and not about what's said about you, or, you know, what's the external scoreboard, but what's about the internal scoreboard? And I think that's been something that I passionately appreciate, and something that I've always dreamed of. Can you have a program that's about the right things, the internal pieces? And, you know, I think we're a lot closer today, 6 years into it, than maybe we've been, you know, and certainly where we were when we started here. And so I think that's probably my greatest appreciation.
Do you have any public thoughts on the expansion of the college football playoffs they're talking about?
No, I didn't even know they're talking about it, but, you know, I would certainly have to put thought to it. But no, probably no public thoughts. I'm sorry on that.
All right. I'm just taking a shot. Thanks.
No problem.
Our final question today will come from John Schaefer of WOI. John, go ahead.
Matt, the recruiting dead period ends June 1st. How does that impact you guys recruiting, and how nice is it going to be able to get those recruits onto campus, show them the facilities, especially with everything that's going to be finished up later this summer? Yeah,
I think, you know, when I've always looked at stuff like this, John, is what is best for student athletes, right? And I think I know that it would be hard for any student athlete to make a decision on any school that they were going to visit without actually being on the campus, and, you know, actually being able to be on the campus and then have like personal interaction with the players and the coaches. So I think that's a huge positive, you know, and it definitely be enjoyable to get young, you know, prospective student athletes back on our campus to be able to have and build, you know, both a face-to-face relationship with, but also for them to really get a great feel for our players and for our, you know, what our program looks like on the inside. So I think that's certainly a big positive. And, you know, hopefully we've also learned globally too, what have we learned from this pandemic that we can take with us moving forward in terms of recruiting model and all those kind of things. So we'll see if we can figure that out as well.
Thank you for your time today, Coach.
All right, guys. Thank you.